great ball, man.
Hey, what's up everyone? Metro D Golf coming back at you. So here's vlog number 2, 9 holes at my home course, Northville Hills. So I play this course maybe once, twice a week, so very familiar with it, but this is a twilight round. We're playing the back 9 here again with my good friends Nick and Chris. So we're just out having some fun playing 9 holes. Now I got most of my shots. I didn't get every one of Chris and Nick's shots, but I got a good mix of their shots along with keeping score of what I shot. Well, here we are, hole 10. Didn't get our drives, but that was my 3rd shot out of the sand, which is about 50 yards away. So it wasn't bad, but I left a little short on the fringe, and this was actually my 4th shot chipping onto the green. And it was a pretty good chip. Left myself a pretty makeable, easy putt to save par. And here's my little 3-foot putt to get par. So first hole there, par 5. Now we're on to hole 11. Now this is a tricky par 3. It's about 185 yards. Just depends on where the pin is placed. Can change the difficulty of this hole, but honestly, anytime I play it, if I get a par here, I'm really happy, and getting a ball on the green is a real good shot. Go left, it's a hazard. Right, there's some water. There's a few bunkers. I was hitting 5-iron here. I hit a really good shot, but just hit it really pure and overcooked it a little bit. And I went into the back bunker behind the green. Here's Chris stepping up. Nick hit a good shot too prior. His came up a little short, but it was good, and Chris hit a pretty solid shot there as well. So here I am, 2nd shot, and as you can see, I kind of had not a great lie, because I was on a kind of a downslope in the back of the bunker. So here's my putt for par. Yeah, 20-something feet. Down the hill a bit and broke right at the end, and unfortunately I missed it. But here's Nick putting, and that was his 2nd shot there, and this is to make his par. And nice par by Nick. Good hole. Now here's Chris making his putt. Now I'm not sure what this was for. Just missed it. And here I am trying to save my bogey, which on this hole where I was, I'm okay with it. Moving on to the next hole. I did not have the camera going on our drives, so this is Nick's 2nd shot. I hit a good drive, so I was mad I didn't get my drive. Par 4, if you really hit a good drive, you can put yourself in a nice position to potentially get birdie, but there's also some trouble on the left and the right. So if you hit a poor drive, you can start adding up the strokes pretty quickly. So great drive on my part. I was only maybe like 60 yards out. 2nd shot, just a little pitch with a sandwich. Thought I kind of chunked it, and I did. I left it a bit short, so it wasn't a great shot, but got it on the green. There's Chris putting it up, and now Nick's coming from the other side down the hill. you'll see me coming back up. Didn't have the camera angle quite right, but that was for my birdie. Just missed it. Was having a little conversation with some friends playing behind us, but tapped in for par. So that was our drives. Now this is the #1 handicap hole on the course. Just a tough par 4, pretty long, big dog leg to the right, and the green has a big slope in it. So even once you get there, it is one of the tougher greens to putt on. But that was my second shot prior to that, and it was an 8-iron, about 150 something yards out, and unfortunately it wasn't that great. I believe it hit a tree and came up short, so you can see me walking around trying to find my ball and ended up having to kind of hit a little low punch to even get it on the green. So now, big long putt here for par, and at this point I'm just going to be happy with a 2-putt. Get the heck out of here with a bogey. But you can see the green, it slopes from back to front, and you really have to hammer these putts. I felt like I hit it hard there and still left myself a pretty tricky second putt. Nick making some more putts. And here I am for bogey, and that was tough. It was a kind of down the hill, left to right breaker, and I had a little too much speed on it, so I left myself a pretty tricky putt coming back for double. And a lot of times in years past, I would kind of just give up at this point, not really even concentrate to try to hit my double, but it's important to hit those putts. All right, on to the 14th hole, par 4. Got a double on the last, so now I'm +3 at this point in time. Didn't hit a very good tee shot here. Actually, kind of just chunked it about 100 yards to the right around where that second bump is, and so I was in the rough. Wasn't a good shot. Here's Chris. And you have to hit an iron off this hole because there's a kind of a platform out there, but then there's a hazard in between the fairway and the green, so you can't hit driver. So here's actually my third shot because I had to chip out to this point, and I'm about 165 out, 7-iron, and I'm directly into the sun, so it's really tough. As soon as I hit it, I completely lost it. I had no idea where it went. Felt good, and the guy said it was a good shot, but I could not see it. So here's Nick with his second shot, and as you can see, he's struggling with the sun too, but he hit a real nice one on the green. And here we are now down on the green, and we're just having fun playing some casual golf. Here's Nick's birdie putt. Sometimes the pin's in, sometimes it's not. But good hole for him. Tap in par, he'll take it. Chris coming up with his putt as well. Not sure what that was for exactly. But here I am, just trying to take my time. This was my 7-iron from like 165, and this is to save par, so I just on the fringe, but I really wanted to make this putt. And there you go. Saving par. So that was actually a really good par. I was very, very happy with that par, especially with my crappy drive. So So on to the 15th hole, another par 4. Pretty long, but it's not all, I wouldn't call it crazy difficult. It's pretty straightforward. There is out of bounds on the left, but it's wide open on the right. For whatever reason, I seem to go left too often on this hole. I've definitely put some balls out of bounds. But Chris and Nick both hit really good drives here up the right side of the fairway. We're just trying to get these 9 holes in before the sun goes down. And I hit a pretty good drive too, but it was leaking left. And I was hoping it would stay in, and it was borderline. So just in bounds, you can see there's white stakes indicating the out of bounds. So I was in the thick stuff and just kind of chipped it out. So now from here, I was about 140 out with a 9-iron. Tried to hook it around the trees, but I think it just kind of went straight. Not a terrible shot, but this was my position, and now chipping up for my 4th shot. Been trying to work on this part of my game, getting better at it each time I go out. That wasn't bad. The only problem with that shot is I left it on the high side of the hole, so it was a pretty tricky up and down putt I left myself. Big green here. Nick was on the front edge, but had to come all the way over that ridge onto the backside. With a pretty good putt there. And Nick, I think this was the save par, so he got a bogey. And now here I am trying to save my bogey. These putts are just tricky. It's not a long putt, but it had a little break to it down the hill. And I really hit it hard. The problem is when you hit it hard on those type of putts and don't make it, you can leave yourself a pretty lengthy putt coming back. Good thing is this is now back up the hill. This is where I should have left my chip shot and saved my double. All right, 16th hole. So now I'm +5. Not that great of a round, but if I can finish out these last 3 holes, I could salvage something okay. So not a bad hole here. 355. Now that big tree you see out there, the fairway's split, so you could go either right or left. Basically, for the most part, you can really just aim for the tree. Sometimes if you're a big hitter, you can go over it. But not a terribly hard hole, as long as you hit your drive decent. And I actually hit a good one there just on the left side of that big tree. And we were all sitting in good positions. Here's Chris' approach shot. It was maybe about 105 yards out. Same with Nick. There's a couple bunkers in the front, depends on where the pin is placed. It can, this hole can play a little tricky, but it was on the left side, so you just got to be careful with those bunkers. So I kind of aimed and played to about the middle of the green and actually had a little draw to it. And that was about 95 yards out, 75% gap wedge, and hit a pretty good one.
And they're hanging in the...
So here's our putts, and I have a pretty good opportunity to get birdie here. Didn't get a birdie yet on this back 9. But it just had a little more break than I thought and missed it to the left. But tap in par, take it. And I think Nick, this was for his par as well. I'm not sure. Maybe that was for birdie, so can't quite remember if he was for birdie or par. On to the 17th, par 3, great hole, one of my favorite holes on the course.
Nice ball.
Just a standard par 3 distance, but you're over the water here, and then this hole is a long left to right green, lengthwise, and then bunkers protecting in the back. But if you hit a good shot, should put yourself somewhere on the green. The only problem is with this type of green is if you hit it on the wrong side, many times you can 3-putt, so you got to be careful there. I had a good shot. I believe this was a 9-iron. And this was the last hole I could get recorded. My camera ran out of juice, so this was it. But I've been working on this shot a lot, this little chip, using an 8-iron, and basically my technique is I'm using the same stroke I would with my putter. I'm basically just pretending like I'm putting, but using my 8-iron, and I've really been pretty successful with that shot over the last few weeks. And I made my up and down putt there for par. Missed the 18th hole, unfortunately. I birdied it, but I ended up shooting a 4-over 40 on the back 9, so not terrible, about where my average is. There it is, though. Metro D Golf coming at you again, vlog number 2.